Hey guys, here I am again. It's time for another comparison. Now if you've watched my other videos, you've seen the comparison between the YETI and the RTIC. Well, that didn't turn out so well. And I've had some people that were a little skeptical of it, and I can believe why, because I have heard really good things about RTIC. And in my comparison, the ice in the RTIC didn't even hold up 14 hours. So in the YETI, in comparison, it held up for 30 hours. So I contacted RTIC, and RTIC has been awesome with their customer service. Every time I contact them or email them, they reply quickly. They're very prompt to help out any way they can. And they sent me a return label so that I could ship the RTIC tumbler that I had, ship it back to them. And they told me as soon as they get theirs back that they would ship me the new one. Now, there was a little bit of confusion in some of the emails, but that wasn't their fault. The confusion was when my wife originally bought it, she used her email address, and when I was communicating with them, I used my email address. So there was some confusion there, but it was not their fault at all. So, and they did ship it quickly. I did return mine to them, and they shipped theirs out. It took about 2 weeks, a week and a half to 2 weeks for us to get ours back after we shipped the other one out. Now, I haven't opened it yet. I'm assuming it looks just like the original one that I had. So I'm going to open it. Just for comparison to let you know, I want the comparison to be very similar. I'm not going to go into as much detail. I mean, we know what they look like and all that good stuff. But I'm going to just compare them as close to the other video as possible. Now, like I said, some people were skeptical. I have no reason to make YETI look bad. I have no reason to make RTIC look bad. I simply have seen some other people comparing them. I want to see it for myself. Personally, it's hard for me to believe that a cup like that will hold ice for 30 hours. I also had somebody comment and say, why in the world does it matter if a cup will hold ice for 30 hours? You're absolutely right. It doesn't matter. Just the fact that they advertised it, it raised my curiosity as well as a lot of other people and made me do a comparison. So the RTIC that I had happened to be defective. I don't know why. I don't know that. When I communicated with RTIC, they didn't give me any reason as to why it was defective. I do know that a YETI or RTIC or any of those should not be forming condensation on the outside or sweating. And the RTIC was doing that within 10 minutes. So no doubt it was defective. So enough about that. Let's get this thing opened up, check it out, see what it looks like, and then we'll start the comparison. It's in a box just like the old box, the original box, and nothing else in here. That aside, okay, looks like the same. 30 ounce RTIC 30 ounce tumbler, and box aside, plastic, and it looks the same, exactly the same. 30 ounce tumbler. Okay. Alright, so now let's do the test. Now, I'm going to get some ice, used out of the same tray as I did before. I'm going to use 30 pieces because that's what happened before. Now, someone suggested maybe weighing the ice. I think if I was comparing coolers, I would do that because I'm not going to count enough cubes to fill up a cooler. But I would probably weigh the ice or buy a certain amount and just trust that their weight's exact or whatever. I mean, just sitting down to a science. I'm just comparing. It's entertainment purposes, and let's see who wins, okay? But I'm going to use 30 pieces of ice in each, just as I did before, and see how it goes. Okay, first, have the RTIC. We'll go ahead and put 30 pieces of ice in the RTIC. Okay, 30 pieces of ice in the RTIC now. 30 pieces of ice in the YETI. 30 pieces of ice in the Yeti. So let's seal them up. Shake that down a little bit. And that's close to the top. And the Yeti, also close to the top. Okay guys, there it is, Arctic and the Yeti. Let's see how it goes. Okay, let's see if you can see this at all. It's kind of dark. You punch the button and it's 70 degrees. It's set on 70 and it is 70 degrees in the house. Okay, well it's now 5:20 a.m. It's been a little over 12 hours since I started the test. And I'm about to go to work. I just want to check in right quick and see what was happening here. As you can see, this is the Arctic. Over 12 hours ago. And the majority of the ice is still there. The Yeti, over 12 hours ago. Yeah, I believe it's a little lower than the Arctic. Again, it is cool to the touch on the outside here with the Yeti, and the Arctic feels pretty much like room temperature on the outside. And definitely do not have a defective tumbler in the Arctic this time. Let's check the temperature on the thermostat. 70 degrees, as it has been all night. Okay, there you have it. It's definitely not a defective tumbler this time. It's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. And I believe it's actually doing a little better than the Yeti. So, I'm going to leave it, go to work, and I'll check it this evening. Okay, it is now 10 p.m. and I want to check the Yeti and the Arctic and see which one has the most ice now. Let's check the Arctic first. And yeah, it has quite a bit of ice left. Actually, it really surprises me how much ice is left in there. Because we're at 29 hours now. Well, that's right. And the Yeti, there's a little bit of ice left. Not a lot. So at 29 hours, the Yeti has a little bit of ice left, which is much like the last test. It had a little bit of ice left at 30 hours, and that's when I ended the test. This one, the Yeti has about the same amount, but the Arctic has a lot. And I'm interested in seeing how long the Arctic will hold the ice. I did not know the Arctic could hold ice that long. That's pretty cool. Alright, it's now April the 14th at 12:40 a.m. and that's about 31 and a half hours, almost 32 hours. So let's check these things. Let's pull these things out. Arctic. That's crazy. The Yeti. I don't believe there's a trace of ice in there right now. $70 degrees. It is 11:30 a.m. on April the 14th, Thursday morning. We started this test at 5 p.m. on April the 12th, on Tuesday. It has now been 42 and a half hours, and the Arctic still has ice in it. Arctic still has a pretty good chunk of ice right in the center there. That's crazy. And the Yeti, all water. So we're going to go on vacation in a couple hours. I'll check it again at that time and see what the max time is, but 42 and a half hours, that's crazy. That's really crazy. I had no idea an Arctic would hold out that long. Okay, it's now 2:15. It's 45 and a quarter hours since I started the comparison, which I started on the 12th of April, and it's now the 14th of April. So, hard to believe, the Arctic still has ice in it. Check this out. I haven't taken the lid off at all, but still has a good chunk of ice in it at 45 and a quarter hours. The first test I did, the Arctic only lasted about, I believe it was 12 to 14 hours, and then it didn't have any ice at all. It also formed condensation. If you saw that video, that is a defective Arctic tumbler. If you have one like that, send it back. Call the company, email the company. They responded promptly to each and every email that I sent them. They work great, and their customer service is top notch. This Arctic definitely outperformed the Yeti hands down, no doubt. So anyway, that's the end of this test. Still has a little ice in it, but we're going on vacation. I don't have any more time here, and honestly, when I started the test, I had no idea it was going to last up until time to go on vacation, or I'd have started it earlier. So anyway, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Y'all have a great day.